Mother Nature is amazing. It's given us some of the most gorgeous, amazing animals to ever exist. While some of those animals are majestic and relatively safe to be around, there's a whole bunch of animals that you never ever want to mess with. And that's not just because they're big and scary and can trample you in seconds. In fact, most of the animals on this list aren't even that big, but just because they're small doesn't mean they aren't deadly. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all our latest and most exciting content. The pufferfish. Pufferfishes have a cute look to them. They even look kind of silly and harmless when they're all big and blown up, but don't let that deceive you. Pufferfishes are actually very, very dangerous. But even with that fact being well known, people still eat them. When eating a pufferfish, you have to make sure to cut them in a particular way, because if you don't, you could be eating straight up poison. That's because the pufferfish's body contains a very dangerous toxin known as tetrodotoxin. If you get that into your body, you can have issues with speech and coordination while experiencing a tingling sensation. That can also lead to convulsions, paralysis, and eventually even death. Brazilian wandering spider. We all know to stay away from spiders. If the 8 legs and eyes aren't enough to keep you away from them, then knowing that they can kill you should. While some spiders look scary and aren't harmless, there are some that are scary and are super harmful. That's the perfect way to describe the Brazilian wandering spider. It has a rather sweet nickname, the banana spider. But don't let the nickname fool you, because if this spider wants to kill you, it can and it will. Packed with a load of venom, this spider was labeled as the most venomous animal in the world by the Guinness World Book of Records in 2007. That should tell you everything you need to know about this thing. If the spider doesn't kill you, it can also cause paralysis. The Death Stalker Scorpion. If the name didn't tell you everything you need to know, then let this be a warning to you. Stay away from the Death Stalker scorpion. Most scorpions should be avoided in general, but this one should be at the top of your list. And why is that exactly? Well, it has a venom so strong that it not only causes discomfort and swelling, but it also causes respiratory failure. If you have heart problems and allergies, then you'll quickly fall victim to this scorpion if it attacks you. This scorpion takes no prisoners, and it should be left alone if stumbled upon. It can usually be found in North Africa and the Middle East, and while its translucent color might make you think it's not that dangerous, you shouldn't let appearances fool you. The stonefish. When getting into the water, there's a few things to avoid. Sharks and jellyfish seem to be the most common creatures to stay away from. But what about fish? You might be thinking that there aren't any dangerous fish wandering around in the ocean, but then you must not know about the stonefish. Not only can this fish camouflage in the watery surroundings it lives in, but it carries toxins that can cause all kinds of issues. Some of these issues include paralysis, shock, and death. While there are treatments for the stonefish's poison, victims need to get their hands on it quickly because the venom works fast. Since most people are in the water when they get attacked, that isn't exactly an easy task. The blue-ringed octopus. This is one of those animals that you don't think can really take your life. And that's because it's just so dang small. When we think of killer animals, we think of lions and sharks, not animals that we can fit in the palm of our hands. But you might want to avoid doing that with the blue-ringed octopus. In fact, you should stay away from it at all costs. Just because it can fit in the palm of your hand does not mean that it won't kill you. It's considered one of the most dangerous creatures to live in the ocean. And not only can it kill you, but it can also cause you to go blind. Venom from this octopus can also give you nausea, and the chance of paralysis is also high. In fact, this octopus is so strong that it has enough toxins in its body to kill almost 30 people. That's a lot of poison for one tiny little animal. The marbled cone snail. Snails aren't dangerous, right? Wrong. Kind of. Most snails are pretty harmless. Most snails are slow and we don't even bother thinking them as a threat. But the marbled cone snail is one snail that you don't want to mess with. Just looking at the mild symptoms should be enough to freak you out. It can cause things like inflammation, numbness, and tingling. Then there's the scarier symptoms. If you're unlucky and you're hit with a high amount of venom, then there's a good chance you're going to suffer with muscle paralysis, respiratory failure, and loss of sight. One of the worst parts is there's no cure for this snail's venom, so death is usually right around the corner when you're attacked by one. The poison dart frog. Frogs are usually seen as gross or harmless, but rarely do people look at them as being dangerous. The poison dart frog, however, should most definitely get that dangerous label. It's been said that this frog can kill a human adult within 5 minutes. So that's 5 minutes for you to get out and get to the hospital to get help, which clearly isn't a lot of time. It's the toxins in this frog's glands that make it so scary. It has enough poison to kill at least 10 men, even though most of these frogs grow to be only 2 inches long. Their small size should not be laughed at though, because they're considered one of the most dangerous frogs in the world. King Cobra. Just the name alone is enough to make people shudder. The king cobra, the deadliest and most feared snake in the world. They have a rather bad reputation, and they certainly live up to it. They can usually be found in the deep darkness of jungles located in China and India. Not only are they fast, but they're able to spit out their venom. So even when you think you've got some distance between yourself and the snake, it can still attack you. Not only is its venom very painful to experience, but the second it gets into your bloodstream, you need to get a move on. The venom from a king cobra can and will kill you within 30 minutes if you don't get help in time. Inland taipan. While the king cobra is a pretty well-known snake, there's also the inland taipan that is just as and maybe even more dangerous. It can be found in Australia and is said to have venom that is 200 times more dangerous than the venom of a king cobra. Not only that, but it's also been labeled as one of the most dangerous and venomous snakes in the world. In fact, all it takes is just a single bite to take you down, though one bite is enough to kill almost 100 adults. It's been said that this snake prefers to be on its own and stays away from humans most of the time, which is good news for us humans. The only reason why it isn't considered a huge threat is because it usually lives in remote areas away from people and towns. But who knows what would happen if a whole bunch made their way to a packed city. The box jellyfish. The box jellyfish is the cause of fear in many beachgoers. It makes people not only want to avoid the water, but even avoid the sand, because they can be found there too. It's one of the most feared animals of all time, and not just in the water. All in all, when it comes to underwater sea creatures and those that live on land, the box jellyfish is greatly feared. The jellyfish has a body that's very see-through, so they're rather hard to see. Being in the water makes it especially hard. The tentacles of the box jellyfish are very poisonous, and if you're hit with one, you need to get out of the water and into a hospital ASAP. The poison can force your blood pressure to rise very quickly, which can lead to a heart attack, which of course can lead to death. And that's the 10 most venomous animals in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.